Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. With just 35 days to go, the residents of Delhi are scared that their city could be reduced to gridlock, chaos and confusion by the Commonwealth Games. Here to discuss that question is the Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit. Mrs. Dikshit, the residents of your city are petrified that come the Commonwealth Games, this city could be reduced to chaos and gridlock. Many think the answer is to flee. How can you reassure them that won't happen?
No, please don't flee. I think a few people believe that. But the rest of the city is very excited about it, and I can assure you that the police and the agencies which look after traffic are very confident that things will work out well. You know, we've closed the schools on those days.
That's true. But let me quote to you what one of your senior officials on Tuesday, just 5 days ago, said to the Calcutta newspaper, The Telegraph. He says, it would be an understatement to describe the situation as alarming. It is calamitous. No. Are you worried that your officials...
No, I don't know which official said this. And if he hasn't got the courage to say who is saying it, then I think he's just imagining things. And I don't know what level of official he was, whether he's connected with that. That's not going to happen. Please believe me.
All right, let's come to the major areas of concern one by one. To begin with, the roads. Many of them have debris or malba all over, others are waterlogged. The Business Standard has publicly said that the centre of Delhi, Connaught Place, looks like a chaotic archaeological dig, hazardous to everyone. How did the situation get to this state?
No, I think there was this thing that most of the agencies, and the multiplicity of agencies, were very ambitious, over-ambitious. Then on top of that, we had rains which have never happened like this in Delhi. So that slowed down work. But the NDMC, which is looking after the Connaught Place, and I was there just yesterday, is almost changing by the minute, by the hour. They're working very hard, 24 hours, and I think it will be perfectly all right.
But even a cycling event that was happening there on Sunday now has to happen elsewhere because Connaught Place can't take the cycling event.
No, that's all right. You've got an alternative. If you feel that you're not confident, now I don't think this is something that you need to worry about. You've got an alternative, so you've done it. In the event that the Connaught Place is not ready.
All right, beyond Connaught Place, what worries people is that in fact all over Delhi roads seem to be caving in. According to the Hindustan Times, 20 have caved in the last 2 months, including the new road built outside City Fort. And the police have publicly said that altogether 279 roads are vulnerable. Let me quote to you what the Hindustan Times has said. It says, it appears that all roads in the capital are on the verge of collapse.
No. How can they say that? Everybody is rolling around, businesses as usual in Delhi. And
but you keep reading about cars and trucks that are stuck in caved-in roads.
No. We do read about them. One car or one truck doesn't mean the whole of Delhi is collapsed. Now, the sun has come out since yesterday. They're working overtime. All the roads will be laid down properly, whether they belong to CPWD, PWD, MCD or NDMC. They will all be done. And I can assure you that this is not going to happen. We've had unusual rains. I wish they would think. Now, every newspaper or everybody just keeps on talking about one truck which is, sunk in. Metro is also doing its work. So please remember that we're working under circumstances where several things are being done.
Let me ask you bluntly, when will the roads of Delhi be clear of malba and debris?
The malba and debris, they will be cleared by about the 10th of this thing.
10th of what?
September.
And is that a deadline that you can keep
No,
to?
we had a deadline 31st.
Absolutely, that's why I asked.
Yes, we had a deadline, but buildings are going on, work is going on, so it's been cleared. And I'd like to tell you, this is for your viewers to know, that we have already cleared over 100,000 metric tons of malba from all over the city.
But you're saying to me that by the 10th of September, Delhi's roads will be clear of malba and debris?
Yes, absolutely.
And you believe you can keep that commitment?
Yes. We will.
All right, in the meantime, the other thing that worries people is that essential maintenance simply doesn't seem to be happening. For instance, critical junctions in Delhi have traffic lights that haven't worked for over a month. Andheri mode is one. There, you have a permanent 24-hour traffic jam. Why aren't traffic lights functioning, particularly when there's malba and debris and waterlogging all over?
Have you noticed that the police is changing the traffic lights? They're bringing them into those blue ones, modern ones. It'll take a little time, another 8-10 days or so. They promised me that they will do it.
But it's taken them 6 weeks already.
No, they were hampered because of the heavy rains. They couldn't dig in. They couldn't. The wiring was. They could not get it in.
When will all traffic lights be functioning in Delhi?
I think by the 10th or 12th of September, you will see a very, very different.
2 days after the roads are clear of Malba.
Yeah, yes. No, the roads are clear. There's little bits of Malba. Those being picked up.
A second major concern are the storm drains. Every time it rains, this city looks like a swimming pool. The MCD blame the PWD blame construction agencies, but no one seems to clear or clean the drains.
That is true. There is a terrible problem of multiplicity of authorities, coordinating them. But now we've got the GOM, we've got the cabinet secretary with his officers, team of 8 or 10 officers looking after all the venues. We've got a team of about 20 officers who are not sitting in offices but are going out. Everything will be done. You don't find big Malba now, you find little Malba.
But you still find roads that are clogged.
No, the roads are clogged. It's raining now. It will not rain in October, I hope not, unless we have a freak weather.
So till the rain stop, the water logging will continue?
No, in places. It's not all over Delhi. There are some areas which are absolute, in fact 99%.
But the horrific pictures you see on television and on the front pages of newspapers, that's going to continue?
This is what I would like to request you, through you everybody else, look at the positive side of it. There are miles and miles and miles, many more miles of roads which are functioning well, and very, very little, one truck or 2 cars or something getting stuck like that.
Many people think that you're minimizing the situation. People who live in Delhi, who drive in Delhi, have found themselves stuck in traffic for hours on end.
I've been stuck. I've been stuck in traffic for 2 hours, 3 hours. It happens because there are people.
Can I pick up on that? Many people actually in their conversation say, when was the last time the Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, was stuck in traffic? You have escort cars when you drive.
No. Even the escort cars can't fly over traffic jams. They just, and I'm very particular. We are very particular that if you have to wait for.
So you have been stuck in traffic jams for hours on end?
Yes.
For hours on end?
2.5 hours. Is that's the hours. I won't say it's 1 hour or 2. 2.5 hours once and 1 hour the next time. And this was done at a time when I was going around the city trying to see what are the defects. We're doing it, and I can only promise you, please have faith. This is the country's pride and everybody's behind.
I can accept that this is the country's pride, but you're making a plea for faith. Let me put you one problem that will occur to the audience as they hear you. From September the 20th, special Commonwealth Games lanes will start functioning on 300 kilometers of Delhi's roads. Have you done work? Have you got a plan to ensure that traffic doesn't gridlock?
Yes, the police has done it, and it's only a lane. The rest
but sometimes it's 1 lane on a 2-lane road. You're literally reducing the traffic flow by 50%.
No. Have you a suggestion for that? I'd love to have it. I'd love to have people tell me.
You mean, in other words, there's no alternative to the traffic jams that will start from September the 20th?
No. What do you mean by guarantee? There are traffic jams even today.
But they'll get worse.
No, they won't get worse. All that people have to do is adjust the going out. Many times you see empty cars on the road, just a driver driving it from one place to another, or one person sitting on it. I think a little bit of adjustment, I would appeal to the people that this is something we'll have to adjust ourselves. It's not going to be there forever. It's not going to, and it's something, the games are a pride of India.
So you're saying beyond faith, you're also asking people adjust. A, don't go out. B, only go when necessary. C, make sure you don't send empty cars.
I was not saying that at all. What I am saying is that if I have to go out shopping or I have to go out somewhere, I can postpone it a little later on. The players will go at certain times, the times will be told, the lanes are all there, the police will be guiding.
The players are going?
Yes, they will.
There will be a schedule published in the papers?
I don't think there will be a schedule. I don't know that, because that's the police commissioner's job. I don't know what they're going to do, but the priority is going to be the players. There are guests. They come for the games. So the priority, if
so
I
the residents of Delhi are not a priority when the games happen?
No, of course they are. We would like them to come and see the games, come and see them. But there are security concerns, there are concerns where about 8,000, 9,000 people are coming only for the Commonwealth Games.
People get frightened when they hear that number. It worries them enormously.
No, please don't get worried. 5 and it's beautiful weather at that time. Everything will be all right.
Let me then pick up on something you said right at the beginning of this interview. You sort of suggested that perhaps one of the reasons people have problems today is because the government had been over-ambitious. Are you in a sense saying that perhaps, on hindsight, you made a mistake in not limiting yourself to the essential work for the Commonwealth Games, but also taking on the beautification of Lutyens Delhi, and as a result, you may be handling too much at one go?
No, no, we've got enough these things. As I said, maybe. But we will complete it. Everybody...
But have you been too ambitious?
No, I don't think so. We have preponed a lot of things which would have taken another 20 years to come, or 10 years to come, or 7 years to come.
Was it wise to prepone them and do them all now together?
No, they started sometime in 2005, 7, 8.
Can I quote Rajkumar Chauhan, your PWD minister? He says that 77 projects were taken up simultaneously. Was that not too many for Delhi to manage?
No, you don't. Unfortunately, all of you don't go to other parts of Delhi. You go and see what is happening in the other parts of Delhi. You go and look at the Karnal Road. You go and look at the beautiful ITO Chungi that we have made. The beautiful other...
So it's only certain parts of Delhi that are suffering.
And then there is the Salimgarh Fort, which is going to give you a parallel line.
So when it's over, Delhi will smile and say, this is a beautiful city.
Of course.
That's your hope?
Yeah. No,
or is that your prayer?
That's not my prayer, that's not my hope, that's my belief.
All right, let's take a break at that point. Let's come back and talk about some of the other games-related challenges that face you. I'm talking particularly about power, the fear of dengue and swine flu, and of course security. That's in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an exclusive interview with the Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit. Mrs. Dikshit, let's come to some of the other games-related challenges you face. First of all, power. Now that it's clear that the Modar Valley Corporation, the Bawana and Jhajjar plant have let you down, will you have enough power for the Commonwealth Games, or will Delhi face widespread and prolonged power cuts?
No, no, it won't. If Delhi is prepared with an adequate and enough power, also backups, so there will be no problem where power is concerned. And October, fortunately, is a month where usage of power comes down quite considerably.
Except for the fact that you were hoping for over 2,000 megawatts of power from these three sources.
Right.
Now that's denied you. Have you been able to find replacements?
Yes, of course we have. You know, there is trading in power, so we'll buy power whatever costs.
And these are commitments that you've signed up?
Yes, yes.
The contracts are
absolutely done. And I'll tell you another thing. The Ministry of Power, Government of India is very supportive. We will get power. We will not let you down where power is concerned. And alternatives have also been
So I'm going to
set
get
up.
you to repeat this because I think it's so important. As Chief Minister of Delhi, you're assuring the residents of Delhi, as well as the country, because the country will be watching what happens, that there will be no power cuts, no power shortage in Delhi in October.
Unless it happens to be a local power in a particular colony, a local fault, that I cannot guarantee. But there will be adequate, sufficient supply of power.
When you talk of local faults, you're talking about localized power cuts, localized power shedding? Is that what you're
No,
talking about?
not shedding. Shedding is very different from if there's a
problems rather than shedding.
Yes, there'll be no shedding at all, no requirement for any shedding.
No shedding at all in Delhi?
Yes.
People will be thrilled to hear it, but do you really believe you can live up to that?
Of course.
All right. Let's then come to a second concern. As you've repeatedly said during this interview, Delhi has experienced unprecedentedly excessive rainfall, and worst of all, the meteorological department expects it to continue, perhaps even intensify in September. Are you worried that rain is going to further delay the roads, further delay the traffic, further waterlog the city, despite all your deadlines of September 10 and September 12?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. We are working 24 hours, round the clock. I myself go to see that workers are there. So moment the rain stops, they start their work.
But if it stops, what if it doesn't?
No, well, if it doesn't, then I can only pray and request you to pray, and the whole city to pray, and the whole country to pray
the one thing
that the games are well.
Is that the rains is a factor that could bedevil the situation?
No, I would not take it so pessimistically. We will work, we will do our work.
You have a line of approach to the rain god?
No, prayer.
All right. The other problem, perhaps in many senses a more serious problem connected with the rains, is the fear of dengue and swine flu. Already this year, as of today, you have 606 cases compared to just a handful last year.
That's right.
Are you prepared for action to ensure that thousands coming, athletes, officials and tourists, you mentioned 9,000, it may be more, aren't going to fall ill in Delhi?
No, I mentioned 9,000 of the Commonwealth Games officials.
So then
and
there could
players.
be double that number of tourists.
No,
Are
we
you
take
scared
adequate
these guys
care
won't
of
fall
that.
ill?
And dengue lasts in Delhi for about 20 days or 15 days.
The papers say it peaks in October.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
The papers say, now if it rains on right up to October
But it
or
is
November,
the forecast
and you have
for
a freak
September,
weather.
but the forecast for September is 110% of the long-term average. That suggests
No, but
you've
that's
got
a
a problem.
forecast. Please remember that it's a forecast. I can't forecast anything. If something happens which is beyond your control, beyond my control, beyond the police's control, beyond everybody's control, we have to. But we are prepared as best as we can. Please remember that the government of India, the government of Delhi, the Lieutenant Governor, the DDA, we are all at it. The health department is at it. Now if you take a population of 1 crore 70 million people, having 600 cases is not a very large number.
The reason I ask about dengue and the fact that it could spread and the fact that it could hit your tourists and your athletes is because the Hindu says that you don't have enough doctors in case there is a real spread.
There are
they
enough
say you
doctors.
face an acute shortage.
No, there are enough doctors, number one. We've also tied up, if we need doctors from other places like Noida or anywhere else. There are enough doctors.
You've tied this up?
Yes, we've done it.
When you say you've tied it up, with private hospitals or with the state governments?
State government and private, whichever is available.
So doctors will be available from outside
Of course,
Delhi.
there will be enough doctors, there will be enough, the hospitals are there, everything has been prepared. Now, if there's an epidemic or something, we'll be prepared for that also. Please remember, we are a responsible and responsive government.
All right, on that thought, let me then come to my last issue, security. As you know, the Commonwealth Games are a tempting target not just for terrorists like the LET, but possibly, according to the papers, even for the Nakshals. How safe can Delhi be?
I don't go by the papers currently.
But you don't discount the threat, do you?
Please remember, all right, there is a threat. It's all right. If I started living by threat, I wouldn't be able to do anything. But please remember, security will cause some inconvenience to people. They will not be dropped at the gate of the stadia where they want to. They'll have to walk a little bit. Now these are, how do you match contradictory situations? Now you've spoken to me about one truck or one car getting stuck. I mean, and you always speak to me, or everybody always speaks, there are traffic jams in Delhi. Of course there are, there always have been.
But will Delhi be safe? Have you done enough to ensure it's not a target
for
terrorists?
The police, the Home Ministry and everybody has taken adequate measures. I am not involved in it because the police does not come in
But
under
you're
me.
confident that adequate measures
Of course, we are
Let
confident.
me put last thoughts to you. The Mail today says that when the Commonwealth Games happen, over 6,000 of the policemen on the streets of Delhi will be half trained at best. They say they've been only put through crash courses.
No, we've got a big force of 40,000
Adequately trained for the job?
Yes, and they are getting the CRPF also. I'm telling you this generally. They're getting a lot of them. So I don't think any chances will be taken.
So Delhi will be safe?
Of course Delhi will be safe. Delhi will have power, but Delhi will be safe. There will be a few traffic jams like there always are. You keep talking of traffic jams every day.
But Delhi will function?
Of course Delhi will function.
My last question, you have just 35 days as I keep reminding you. Are you confident or would you hope there was a postponement?
No, I would not hope for a postponement. We are confident that we will give you good games.
Mrs. Dikshit, a pleasure talking to you.